Hi guys, welcome to today's video. It is teeth clattering cold today, and it is as if my brain is absolutely frozen too. I can't even decide what to talk to you about. I know you want gossip, the more salacious, the better, but I don't always feel like digging for the worst I can find. Some days, like today, with frozen brain syndrome, I just want to chat, just talk, at least about some of the things rushing through my head. You know me, I don't always edit myself. Yes, I edit my videos, but I, more often than not, say what I want, and I guess today is indeed one of those days. I watched William and the King at the 80th anniversary of D-Day yesterday. William's speech was extremely emotional and he delivered it well. As always, he looked hyper neat and squeaky clean, and anyone who still doubted that he is ready to become king have surely by now changed their mind. He is certainly ready and able. I just think that maybe he does not want to right now, not with Catherine sick and the children still so young. Having said that, and guys, get mad at me all you want, but one thing I do not do is lie. Look, I may not always be right, but usually I say things the way I see it. And I'm sorry, but I do not think that the king is a well man. And if you ask me, and yes, you are not asking me, but I'm telling you anyway, I think he has the same look and symptoms as the Queen. Yes, I know both him and Camilla were both very emotional during the proceedings. And yes, I know it is a rather sad and emotional event, but we have seen them at similar events, and there definitely was a sadness in them which was a little more profound than usual. Many people are mentioning that King Charles's hands are not as swollen as usual, but I noticed that his hands, particularly his right hand, that is, if the photograph is not mirror imaged, is rather bruised and looks very much like the Queen's hands in her last year. It's awful, I know, and I'm not a medical professional, but even though I'm not a huge fan of King Charles III, I do feel intensely sorry for him. He should have been brought to heel 20, 30 years ago. His ego a little deflated 20, 30 years ago. Not now at 75, and not by a little snot-nosed chump and his deranged wife. His darling boy got every opportunity in life anyone could wish for, had the best of the best just right there, ripe for the plucking. Unlike his brother, Chimpo did not even have to work very hard for what he wanted. Now, I don't care whether Daddy gave in to him out of guilt or to get him out of the way or to shut him up. Harry got every opportunity his brother did. Yes, maybe he knew from early on that he was not going to be king, but he went to the same school as William and was given more help and the same opportunities, along with far more freedom than William. He had it all, but it was never good enough. Harry and Harry alone abused and squandered his opportunities and his privilege. Yet in his weak, drug-induced, feeble mind, it is everyone else's fault but his own. I don't care whether it was supposed to be in Scobie's book or not. But where did Scobie hear that it was Charles and Catherine who made the alleged racist remarks about Archie in the first place? From Harry and Meghan. That is who. And remember, allegedly, Charles did write to Meghan after the Oprah interview and did say in his letter that if someone did actually say something which offended her, then she should know that it was likely misconstrued or miscommunicated to her, because whatever was said out of love and interest. Yet, more than a year down the line, there it is again, in Omid's book. Now, how is that fair, and how is that right? Has any of them, Harry, Meghan, or even old Omid, apologized to the king? No, absolutely not. I can honestly and in good conscience say that I can list many negative things about Charles, but racism is not one of those things. On the contrary, I don't know what the opposite of racism is, but whatever it is King Charles III. But it appears as if Harry and Meghan are on the exact same trajectory as they were with the Queen in her last 2 or 3 years of life, making it an unhappy, stressed period of time. It appears that these two would not mind being accused of hastening the King and Harry's father's death. They are quite prepared to do their share to make his last years as unpleasant as possible. And in my opinion, no one has the right to do that to another human being, let alone his or her parent, because make no mistake, Meghan is doing the exact same thing to her father. And talking about Meghan, I see in the various celebrity columns that her American Riviera orchard is not moving forward, allegedly largely due to the fact that her jam was not as well received as she had hoped. You know, I don't know who's advising this woman or whether it's all her, but her advisor or she herself is indeed rather stupid. Actually, I mean, very stupid. In the first place, edibles are tricky. No one wants a $20, $30, $50 jar of jam of which the label does not state the ingredients, the energy count per 100 gram, etc., etc. Nobody wants an expensive pot of jam of which the label is already peeling and there's a hair caught in a piece of string or raffia tied to it. That, my dears, is a fact. When it comes to edibles, neatness, information, and appearance is key. Meghan did not deliver any of that, but she has a website, social media presence, and a name for this venture. She does not need a CEO for Aero. She needs products to endorse and sell. You and I may not want to buy from her, but there are others who will. But instead of bringing out something else, something really snazzy and cool, she is now sulking because her first effort was a flop. I was telling my grandson in the car one morning how I was about to give up on my YouTube channel as it was stuck on 80 subscribers for about a year and a half. But I always heard the advice of my grandmother, who told me that the Jewish people always advise to give whatever venture you venture into 1,000 days. And thank God I listened, because after nearly 2 years, Yankee Wally mentioned my channel, and I sat watching how my subscriptions increased to 1,000, 5,000, 7,000, and finally in one day it stopped at just over 10,000 subscribers. Obviously, no one had ever given Meghan that kind of proper, decent, and well-meaning advice. No, Meghan is fickle, a fly-by-night, somebody who actually said she won't give 5 minutes to something she would not give 5 years to. Well, that is the worst kind of role model, the worst attitude anyone desiring success can have. You have to be prepared to pay your dues. You have to be determined, patient, hardworking, creative, and certainly not throw in the towel at the first obstacle in your way. And that, unfortunately, is Meghan Markle for you. Spoiled narcissist who throws a tantrum when things don't go her way. So all I can say to her is, well then, Meghan, close that website. The worst thing you can do is to let it float about for the next year or two and then try and revive it. Either jump in and showcase a few snazzy products or give it up. But don't just ignore and try to forget about it, because the public will not forget. We will keep asking what happened to Aero and we'll laugh at you. So forget about a CEO. Find your products and collaborations first. Sell a few items first. Well, actually, sell a lot of items first. And only once it becomes too much for you and your current PA to handle, you go look for a CEO or manager. You cannot run before you can crawl, Meghan. And I see in the media they are again discussing Meghan becoming Princess Henry should her Duchess title fall away because Harry lost his ducal title. Well, can someone please write to these dumb article writers? Well, I'm saying article writers because they are certainly not qualified journalists. Please write to them and tell them that to remove the princely title is far easier and quicker than to remove the ducal title. Meghan only holds these titles because of Harry. Meghan has no British titles in her own right. Goodness, I cannot believe that supposed journalists with British sounding names don't even know that. Anyway, my dears, let me go watch Real Royals and put those two grifters behind me at least until tomorrow. So please, until we meet back here again, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.